From haunted mansions that instill fear in any who enter them, to historic hotels hiding horrors behind the wallpaper, the Sooner State is packed with local legends and old hill stories that will send a shiver down your spine. Which is why the Speakeasy is bringing you our list of the most haunted places in Oklahoma, starting with Number 10, the Philbrook Museum of Art. The Philbrook Museum of Art in Tulsa is housed in a historic 1920s villa with sprawling grounds and beautiful gardens, and is the perfect place to kick off this countdown. Many staff members and visitors have reported paranormal happenings here throughout the years, such as the feeling of someone standing behind them, otherworldly orbs and lights in the sky, a ghostly candle that floats through the halls, and the statues watching visitors, even turning their heads to follow passerbys. Some have speculated that the spirits here enjoy scaring the unsuspecting. Number 9, the Poncan Theater. The Poncan Theater in Ponca City was built in 1927 and has hosted plays, concerts, and movies over the years. It has built quite a reputation amongst the paranormal community, as there is a spot that looks suspiciously like blood stained into the ceiling. Many have tried to remove it throughout the years, through cleaning, renovations, and other methods, but it always comes back the very next day. Also reported are disembodied footsteps, the sound of tribal war drums, and full-bodied apparitions that are known to appear and disappear in an instant. Number 8, the Old Santa Fe Depot. The Old Santa Fe Depot in Guthrie was built in 1903, closed its doors in 1979, and once housed a Harvey House restaurant. Many have reported seeing a ghostly Harvey gal around the halls, and it's speculated this may even be Pearl Harvey. Others have cited the translucent apparition of a woman in Victorian-era clothing rounding corners and watching the tracks from an upstairs window. Also reported are objects moving on their own, strange mists floating through the halls, and disembodied voices heard early in the morning. Number 7, Fort Reno. Fort Reno in El Reno began in 1874 to protect the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes of the area during the Red River War. The fort was abandoned in 1908 and brought back into use as a prisoner of war camp during World War II. Visitors to the site report the apparitions of soldiers at their old posts, shadowy figures, and ghostly children seen running across the grounds. Military commands and disembodied voices are heard echoing through empty rooms, and weird images have been known to show up in photos. Number 6, the Henry Overholser Mansion. Now a historical house museum, the Henry Overholser Mansion was built in Oklahoma City in 1903 for Henry Overholser and his family. Staff and guests report footsteps and strange sounds in buildings that are empty. Several visitors have reported being overcome by the feeling of fear, sometimes to the point of nausea, or felt as if they were being watched or followed. Many staff and guests have been pushed or had their hair pulled by unseen hands, and some have even seen the fleeting ghostly image of a woman believed to be Mrs. Overholser. Number 5, Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Southeastern Oklahoma State University opened in Durant in 1909, and according to staff and students, several buildings on campus are said to be haunted. Morrison Hall, built in 1911, once had a pool in the basement. Legend says that one night someone stumbled into the pool and drowned, and their foggy spirit has been seen around campus ever since. In Montgomery Auditorium, a campus maintenance worker lost his life when he saw this spirit and fell from the ladder he was standing on. Named George by staff and students, the maintenance worker's spirit is still seen and felt throughout the auditorium. There have been several rumors throughout the years about a possible murder or suicide that occurred on the consistently locked third floor of Shearer Hall. Students hear objects sliding across the floor, footsteps, and unexplainable sounds. Through the third floor windows, eerie furniture can be seen, lights flicker, and odd shadows dart out of sight. Number 4, the Skirvin Hilton Hotel. The Skirvin Hilton Hotel opened in Oklahoma City in 1911, with the third tower being added in 1925. Legend says the original owner, William Skirvin, had an affair with a young woman, and when she became pregnant, he locked her away in a 10th floor room. After months of captivity, the young woman jumped from the window, killing herself and her unborn child. To this day, staff and guests report objects being moved by unseen hands, strange sounds from empty rooms, and doors opening and closing on their own. Several women have been awoken by the sounds of an infant crying. Men who stay at the hotel report seeing the silhouette of a naked woman while showering, and many hear whispered flirtations in the middle of the night. Multiple NBA teams have stayed here, and several have reported their own experiences with this apparition. Number 3. The University of Tulsa. The University of Tulsa was established in 1894, with the current campus opening in 1908 with the completion of Kendall Hall. In the dorms, legend says that a girl took her phone off the hook before taking her own life. To this day, students report hearing the sounds of someone in their dorm room at night, and when they go to investigate, finding their own phone off the hook. Tyrell Hall is haunted by a phantom pianist. Music is heard drifting from the building's upper floors between 12:30 and 2 a.m., but when anyone goes to investigate, the music stops. Throughout campus, misty apparitions are seen, objects are known to move on their own or disappear entirely, and books fly off shelves, narrowly missing those close by. Number 2. Kane's Ballroom. Built as an auto garage in 1924, Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa has hosted several hundred notable performers over the years. The most famous spirit here is that of country western performer Bob Wills, who appears as he did in his younger years. He is seen mostly on the main stage and is said to cause lights to flicker on and off, extreme hot and cold spots, high EMF levels, and orbs to show up in photos. After the show is over and everyone has gone home for the night, staff report disembodied voices and giggling from empty rooms, the feeling of being watched, and some have seen the ghostly image of a woman floating through empty hallways. Number 1. Fort Washita. Fort Washita was built in Durant in 1842 to protect Native American tribes in the area. It was abandoned at the beginning of the Civil War, and Confederate troops held the fort until the end of the war, setting fire to it as they left. According to locals, reports of hauntings date back to the end of the Civil War. The most famous ghost seen here is that of Aunt Jane. She is seen as a woman in white, missing her head. Legend says that she was beheaded for her gold, and that her spirit wanders the grounds forever in search of her lost fortune. There are several stories stating that her gold is buried somewhere on the fort grounds. This claim is supported by the multiple treasure hunters who have come to the area in search of her money, only to walk away empty-handed, claiming that an unseen force kept them from digging a single hole. Those brave enough to stay the night have reported terrifying nightmares, footsteps, personal objects disappearing from locked rooms, and several have been awoken by the sensation of being strangled. The entity here is said to attack women more often than men, and several report feeling threatened and extremely afraid. Throughout the fort, footsteps are heard, disembodied voices echo from empty rooms, and phantom soldiers patrol their old posts. With the multiple terrifying hauntings reported here, and several being physically attacked, it's no wonder we chose Fort Washita as our pick for the most haunted place in Oklahoma. There you have it, those were our picks for the most haunted places in Oklahoma. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the like button down below, and share it with all of your friends. There's plenty more to come. Until next time.